good evening, and welcome to another episode of Annii Gets Healthy. On this program, I talk about health and what I do to maintain a healthy lifestyle. After spending most of my life as an incredibly unhealthy person, embarking on this journey to better health has completely changed my body, mindset, and my entire life, really. I was able to drop half my body weight through changing my diet and discovering the joys of movement. I have found my mental health issues becoming easier to manage. I hope to pass along the information which helped me. However, I never want to stop learning either. So I am extremely privileged to come into contact with people who can further my education and help to spread the message. I have also chatted with a handful of awesome people on social media who opened my eyes to new information and ideas, and for that, I am very grateful. If you want to reach out and have a conversation about what a healthy lifestyle means to you, I urge you to do so. I am most active on Instagram. You can find me there and on Facebook at Annii Gets Healthy. That's ANNII Gets Healthy. You can email me at anniegetshealthy@gmail.com or on Twitter at AnnieKHealth. That's ANNII Health. I would much rather someone challenge my views than avoid conversations about health altogether. It can be a very sensitive topic that can open up very intimate discussions. But I believe everyone is better off for having spoken about their concerns. So follow me on Instagram, message me, and tell me what a healthy lifestyle means to you. I will give the usual disclaimer that I am not a physician, I am not a dietitian, nor am I a personal trainer yet. The opinions expressed by my guests and I are exactly that. I will occasionally have experts in the field give their expert opinions, and I may occasionally cite articles, books, and journals. Regardless, if you are planning on making a major change in your lifestyle, I implore you to speak to a medical doctor and potentially a dietitian or personal trainer for a well-rounded approach. Extreme changes taken on too quickly can do you more harm than good. You may agree or disagree with these opinions, and if you happen to disagree, that is perfectly okay. I still encourage you to reach out to me and explain what you think I may be missing. I love having open and honest dialogues about health whenever I have a chance. Thus my excitement to have my first guest come on the show. Tonight I'll be talking with Richard Kissoon. I'm pronouncing that right, correctly? Okay, good. Richard is a graduate student here in the Department of Human Kinetics and Recreation, am I correct? His research looks for the answer to the following question: what exactly is a healthy lifestyle? Before we get into tonight's conversation, I'm going to take our first break of the hour, but when we come back, we'll get Richard on to get right into business. Stay tuned, Annii Gets Healthy will return right after these messages. Welcome back to Annii Gets Healthy, the program where I talk diet, physical activity, and overall wellness. As I mentioned before the break, tonight's guest is Richard Kissoon, a graduate student of Memorial University of Newfoundland. He'll fill you in on his research and background as we talk here tonight. Richard aspires to help people better their health and manage their conditions through examining their nutrition and lifestyle, offering a plant-based approach to wellness. And on a personal note, I find Richard to be a lovely human being who radiates positivity, and I'm very happy to welcome him on the show. Welcome to the show, Richard. You're actually our first guest to come on Annii Gets Healthy.
Well, thank you, Annie. I'm very happy to be here.
All right, so let's start out by me saying that it was a pleasure to take part in your study. I don't think I've enjoyed being interviewed for research purposes this much in my life. Plus, it was a joy to run into you again at the community potluck. I know for a fact that I ate too much food, but it was incredible.
Yeah, it was, I actually had a really good time doing that interview with you because there was so many things that you talked about that kind of like really, I related to quite well. And I'm glad that we were actually able to get that information, to put into my study. I mean, it's kind of what I would have, been looking forward to, although that might sound a little bit biased, but I could have my own biases until we actually start looking at the data, then I could put those things aside. But anyway, yeah, it was quite interesting.
Well, as you were saying before, when you talk about health with people so often, people are coming in to complain about these myriad of things going wrong, and that it can be hard to get people, especially when you're looking inwards at yourself.
Yeah.
We're very bad at beating ourselves up. So looking at what am I doing right, it can be more challenging than we think.
Yeah, I mean, and the interesting thing about that is that you look at what people do on a regular basis, which basically what a lifestyle is, right? It's consistent behavior based on choice that you feel comfortable doing, and that goes towards, your normal behavior. And a healthy lifestyle will just have a health spin on that. Don't know if I was confusing, but
not at all.
I could clear that up a little bit. But anyway, my point was that when you live a lifestyle, or whether it's a healthy or unhealthy lifestyle, it's something that you're accustomed to, and it's what you are. So when people tend to live lifestyles that are healthy, it's just part of what they do on a regular basis, and they don't actually even see it as something that's so different from anything, because it's just who they are.
So with the classical definition of lifestyle as a total way of living,
Yeah.
we can go back and say that a healthy lifestyle is really the total picture of health in your own life.
Yeah, because when you live a healthy lifestyle, you place more emphasis on certain types of activities that will go towards your health and wellness. And different people do different things that will contribute positively to that. And that kind of goes into what my research is actually looking at.
All right, well, we're going to get into that more in a minute, as even I don't know everything about your research. I've been a part of it, which was, once again, a great pleasure. But I'm definitely curious to learn more. So let's get some backstory on who you are before we start out, Richard. So where do you originate from?
Well, I'm actually from Trinidad and Tobago, which is a twin island republic right at the bottom of the Caribbean, if you want to say that. If you look at a normal map, most people might not even know where Trinidad and Tobago is, and sometimes we're not even on the map because we're such a tiny republic. And then when people see where we are, they think that we're part of South America because we're so close to Venezuela, which is the first South American country when you get to that part of the world. So that's where I'm from. It's a small country. The population is about 1.3 million people. Trinidad is the main island, and Tobago is the smaller island, which is in the northeast Caribbean Sea or Atlantic Ocean. And it's a very multicultural country. We were lastly a British colony, but we were initially a Spanish colony, then a French colony, and then British, and we got our independence in 1962.
All right, so generally, what is considered a healthy lifestyle there?
Oh, specifically in Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, it's hard to be specific, I guess. It's it can be such a vague concept. But yeah, people who, on the whole feel healthy, what kind of a diet is common?
Right. Well, when I think about what people in Trinidad will do to be healthy or to live a healthy lifestyle, and it always brings me back to what behavior is, right? Behavior is something that people tend to do on a regular basis, I guess. When that becomes consistent is when it turns into a lifestyle. And there aren't many people I could think of that kind of really have that constant behavior going on. A lot of people tend to have short periods where they change their behavior to be healthy, and then they go back to periods where they don't care too much, and they do things that they normally do.
I think that's a universal concept.
Yeah. And one of the reasons why that happens a lot in Trinidad is because we are one of a very I guess party oriented country. People tend to put a lot of emphasis on going to parties and going out and having fun, and there's a certain time of the year which happens just before Lent, which is just before Ash Wednesday, and those are the two periods. Monday and Tuesday before is when we have our carnival, and those 2 days is when actually people go out and they parade in the streets. So the motivation for the months or even weeks building up to Carnival is to get healthy and to get fit and to go to the gym every day and to watch what you're eating.
Like the phenomena that we see here with people wanting their beach body for the summer.
Exactly. It's the same concept because you're out on the road for 2 days. You have not much clothes on because, I mean, if you know what Carnival in Brazil is, it's similar to that, but not on such a big scale. So people like to look good when they're out in public. So that's kind of a motivation. And so some people tend to get ready for Carnival just after Christmas. They start getting, because after, you eat all these nice things for Christmas, you want to start toning up in time for Carnival, which happens usually in February or early March every year.
Okay. Yeah, it really is funny. And welcome to Newfoundland, where things are exactly the same, where everybody loves their overindulgence. But, I mean, of course there are certain cultures here and there that are notorious for, really giving in to that primal hedonism, and all that. Not to say that, Newfoundlanders are, the prime example of that, but they're up there. Takes one to know one.
Yeah.
But it is fascinating to hear that, like, all around the world, people have different ways of really, letting that need for celebration come out. And of course, within that are a lot of behaviors that are absolutely not healthy. And so, of course, people want to, get ready before that, and then they want to kind of try to make up for it after. But it's a very extrinsically motivated approach.
Yes. It is quite, that's a good word, extrinsic motivation, because you have something that's pushing you to do it. And that's what I think distinguishes a healthy behavior from a healthy lifestyle. It turns into intrinsic and then integrated motivation, where it just becomes part of what you do, and you don't even think about it as much. It's like, oh yeah, I need to do this, I need to do that. Yeah, you probably need to do it, but it's not a struggle, and it's not something that you have to think, oh, I have to push myself to do, because it's something that my normal disposition is kind of keeping me away from. Your normal disposition now is to do these things that contribute positively to your health.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, I know that you having been a vegetarian for so long and having been vegan, I mean, you're at the point now when you wake up in the morning and you go to break to make breakfast, you're not thinking, oh, what am I going to have for breakfast? I can't eat eggs.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't come into my mind anymore about the things that I can't eat. It's like, because I know what is food to me, and food is what I eat on a consistent basis. There's certain things that I no longer eat, and I don't think about those things as food.
Of course, and I've had that experience myself where, like, I didn't do any what they call cheat meals for about 7 or 8 months after I started changing my lifestyle. And then when I did, and I started to have these gallbladder attacks, I realized that there are certain foods I used to love that are no longer foods to me.
Right.
That being, the greasy, deep-fried foods that, are really quite a staple in, I can't just say in North American life, in most pockets of the world.
Most populations. And it's true. And, just to kind of go back to maybe one of the conversations we had before, it's about what you're doing there is you're actually listening to your body when it comes to what you eat. And I'm not telling people, at the end of the day, I'm never telling anyone, I'm never trying to tell people what they should eat and what they shouldn't eat, in terms of me just telling you things. If you ask me for your advice, I will give you recommendations. If you ask me for my advice, I'll give you recommendations based on what I've learned and things that kind of contribute to a healthier lifestyle, healthier choices. But what you did there is something that everyone has the ability to do. You eat something, you drink something, you do something, and you look at how that impacts your body and how you feel. And if you know that it's not making you feel good, then that's a sign that maybe it's not the best thing for you to do.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. God, I couldn't have worded it better myself. So going back to the actually, I will say before moving on that I think that there really is an art form behind listening to your body, because I think that we're so focused on the immediate result, and we want X, Y, and Z to be, in our appearance, that when we look in the mirror in the morning and that when we're getting dressed in the morning, well, I've been doing this for 2 weeks, so clearly I have to have the washboard abs, and clearly I have to look rejuvenated and refreshed. But I think just in terms of just how you feel inside, instead of looking at the,